Oh man. Good morning. It is Monday, which sucks ass. Especially when I think we're on the beginning of another 6-day week. Uh which, I'm just glad we're all still here. We're all still kicking it. And we're going to have varying opinions on this now. Normally, you'll all be expecting some Doctor Who news and all that, but this is something I want to talk about, and it's called behavior. Um, Chris Rock has been making a living being a comedian who's done insult work, as well as his regular stuff, for decades. Same as Don Rickles made a career out of roasting and toasting people, but nobody ever walked up to him in a public ceremony and slapped the living crap out of him. At least not that I remember. Now, I watched this clip because it was all over the place, and I'm dying laughing because you'll look everywhere now and you'll see where tweets are being plopped off Twitter, as fast as hopping off like fleas on a griddle because they're trying to zap this moment and thought they could make it go away. It's like, sorry, once that horse left the barn, it was long gone. You're not getting it back in there. Now, some of you are like, oh, you should just talk about Doctor Who News and get it over with. But what do you want me to talk about? The fact that, speculation, and all that. Now, look, contrary to popular belief, and it's sad, too, that, Will Smith lowered himself like that. I've had people making fun of me since I was very young. And I was always taught violence is not the answer. Especially when you've just done this in front of, well, I don't know how many people watch the Oscars anymore, but, millions of viewers, let's say. And then sitting there and proceeding to shout the F word at full volume, knowing full well this is a live telecast. Exactly. We don't have anything going on, Doctor Who wise. Thank you, Tristan. It's just when I see something like this, there's people actually, jumping up and down saying, well done, Will Smith. And I'm like, what was well done? Now, some folks are saying Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia. And I'm like, she does? When did this happen? I was never aware of this. But still, even if she did, Will Smith made a career starting out in the beginning as being one of the like 2 or 3 rap artists there were that didn't have to shout obscene lyrics every other word. Here's a guy, who we know by his principles and whatnot. Now, everybody is thinking, yeah, there's Ellen. There's a lot of people thinking this was scripted. I do not know. I do not think it was. Because when you watch the clip like I did, 1 second, Will Smith is laughing his head off. And then briefly you'll see a bit of Jada Pinkett Smith, and she gets this look on her face. And she didn't take the joke so well. So Will proceeded to get up and do what he did. And it's like, yes, there's violence is never the answer. I really hate it when people justify violence. There's a time and a place, and the fact that he actually got handed his award a few minutes later, what if you or I had done that? Would you think that was acceptable? Because if I gotten up, you or I had done something similar, say in a crowded auditorium, security would be carting us out the back door with a police car waiting to take us away. But since this is a celebrity who just did this, and, Chris Rock could have taken this a lot worse. Because frankly, if it was me, and he started shouting the F word from the audience, I would have refused to go on. I would have just said one word, security. That's me. But since they know for a fact that Will Smith will be bailed out of jail before he even gets there, and that's even if they send out a car. you know like I said, it's just amazing to me that an act of violence like this is being condoned by people. It's being accepted. I mean, it's and I just can't believe this behavior, especially from someone you know we've known to have good taste and good character till now. Um, like I said, what you saw was assault cut and dry. The Academy should have had him escorted out of the auditorium along with his wife and said, "Fine, you're banned," because that's what would have happened to anybody else. Um, Folks, you saw what happened to me when I dared make a joke with somebody who I thought had a sense of humor, and yet all of a sudden I was this evil, creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah. Yeah, it is silly, but at the same time, there's a lot of people trying to play this off as it was scripted. It wasn't. Do you honestly think they would have let the F word get shouted out twice on the air during the Oscars? And do you think Will Smith would have debased himself like that for money? And now, meanwhile, all I see on Twitter today is, memes, all this stuff about that. Meanwhile, there's another guy doing the same thing to Ukraine on the other side of the planet. And now that's getting drowned out. I'm like, folks, I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but this could get ugly. Yeah, like I said, there's a time and a place for things, and Will Smith should have waited till everything was over and walked up and said, "Look, what you said offended my wife and all that," and done it in a civilized manner, not gone off like a caveman, you know. And then Chris Rock would have probably apologized then. But if I was Chris Rock now, it's like now you have to sit there and think. It's like, where was security during all this? Why wasn't Will Smith being carried out of the thing with his wife and being charged? And like I said, but trust me, you don't want to know half the things that celebrities get away with. And I'm not saying all celebrities are evil. I'm just saying some folks let it get to their head, and some literally get away with murder. But we won't go into that topic, or we'd be here all day. But I just wanted to bring that up. It's like, look, I can understand your wife was upset, but like I said, if you find a copy of the clip, go back and watch it. Will Smith was chuckling, but his wife was cringing. And it's like, folks, when you become a celebrity, it's going to happen to you. Now, I'm no celebrity, and I've had people say far worse things about me. Mainly because the people who troll me are usually 2,000 or 3,000 miles away, and they know they can get away with it. But it's like, even then, I'm not going to stalk you down and slap the crap out of you in front of your neighbors. But like I said, when we're all younger and all that, when we're younger and stupider, and before we get older and wiser, like I said, I had a temper you would not believe. I was quick to anger, but now that I've gotten older and I look back on that, you wouldn't expect this thing from a much older, wiser Will Smith. It's like, what are you going to do, when somebody else makes fun of your wife? You going to go out and smack them too? Or, yeah, Chris Rock did not deserve this. Like I said, that's my opinion. I know some people think he did, but that's part of the biz. That is the career you've chosen. That is the path you've taken. You're a celebrity. You've got a target painted on your back. Jada Pinkett Smith is a celebrity. Yeah, they can do whatever they want. You're right. A lot of people seem to think that they live in the same world that we do. No, they don't. Like I said, for giving an example, I think it was like, can't remember which one it was. It was a lady celebrity. Was it Lindsay Lohan or was it Paris Hilton? Did all of 45 minutes for a DUI because the jail was too crowded. Allegedly, that was the excuse. Or you get busted on drugs. Normal people go to jail for years. You go out and do a public statement, a public address announcement, and time served, you're done. Now, like I said, everybody's so worried about what one race is doing or what is doing. It's like, folks, don't be concerned about somebody because they have a different color. Don't be worried, someone's from a different culture. Don't be angry at somebody because they worship a different deity than you do. Start worrying about the people who are looking down on you right now from the big ivory towers that they sit in. Those are the ones who are stirring you up. Oh, I saw your announcement there. I'm glad. Yeah, that you're all. Yeah, Colin Baker was a hoot. We had fun with Colin Baker. Um, Sylvester McCoy is going again this year. I think I'm going to the Chicago TARDIS. Just I didn't have a whole lot of money to throw around. I would have loved to have gotten a picture one year with Paul McGann and all that because he was there and all that. But like I said, I only had time and money for one photo opportunity, which I took with Pearl Mackie. And like I said, she was adorable, very kind, very sweet. Originally, it was supposed to be her and Jenna Coleman. And there's an interesting story on why I did that. I just wanted to see if she'd do the finger pistols thing, because I'd be like, no finger pistols. What? Sorry, I'm paying for this picture. No finger pistols. Yeah. Yeah, you're right there, Derek, I believe it was. Yeah, you're right. If you or I had done something like that in a public forum, security would have been on us like flies on, like white on rice in a cup of milk on a white paper plate in a snowstorm. We'd have been hauled out and put into a police car and taken away and charged, and we sure as hell wouldn't have won an award a few minutes later. It's like, I know they had to make a snap decision on that, but by handing the guy an Oscar a few minutes later, I'd have said no. You don't hand somebody an award a few minutes later. You say, well, that award's not getting handed out now. That's what I would have done. I would have said, sure, it would have been a last minute adjustment, but come on, you got people in charge of that. That kind of behavior should not be rewarded in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if the Academy did pick Will Smith. It's like, sorry, he just basically, threw down a gauntlet and, well, more than threw down the gauntlet. But I'd love to meet David Tennant, but I don't think I could afford him. So I just popped that up. Violence is never the answer, is what I'm trying to say. And sadly, we've got a two-bit idiot over there in the USSR, or well, formerly the USSR, who's, seems to think that they can do whatever they want because they've got nukes. And now you've got people in the United States saying we should do this, we should do that. And it's like, the guy's got his finger on the button of 6,000 ICBMs. Trust me, No matter what scenario plays out, a little radioactive fallout ruins everybody's day. Ugh. Well, folks, it is coming up on that time. And like I said, I know it's not Doctor Who related, but it's like it's something you got to talk about because it's something you see in the world that, like I said, I always thought of Will Smith as being much more mature and grown up than that, and unfortunately, he just showed his true colors to the world. And I know people have been making fun of the fact that, the dozens of people who watch the Oscars. Folks, that thing is like simulcasted everywhere. It's done live because they assume that, it's going to be a tasteful ceremony with grown up, mature adults present, who don't go off like a bomb because they get made fun of by a comedian, who don't, have tantruming, storming, crybaby fits in public because their movie or they didn't win an award. And now it's, like I said, I can understand Will Smith, you were angry, but that's not the way to solve it. And sadly, I have to say that Chris Rock, well, I can say proudly, actually, Chris Rock came out the better man on this because he laughed it off and kept going. He was a professional, he was mature about it. He could have easily stood there and said, not saying a word till security hauls that man away. And there's nothing the Academy could have done about it because he had every right to. Like I said, if it was me, I'd have just stood there and said, okay, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, what are you going to do? Come up and beat the crap out of me? But like I said, you got to give points to Chris Rock on this one because he handled it like a mature adult. Will Smith did not. And it's kind of sad when you're getting this from a middle-aged, white, old, you know, auto worker. I know I got to get going myself, folks. You're right. It's about that time. I got to run in the building, come to think of it. So everyone, please be kind, be calm, be safe. Take care of one another out there. Hopefully we'll see you in the future. And remember, violence is never the answer. And maybe one of these days the human race will grow up and realize that. Take care of yourselves, everyone.